like sands through the hourglass. Such are the days of our lives. We're on number 8 of Little Essays Toward Truth. Another week has gone by here. We are on mastery today. I can't believe another week has just slipped by, literally like sands in the hourglass. The year is flying by, the month is flying by, and it's still freezing. Do I look bundled up? Well, I am bundled up. I just got back from my morning walk, and the house is not that much warmer than it is outside, but we're trying to warm it up a little. Constance and I are preparing for our sort of presentation / workshop / salon on Sunday, and we're getting ready for that. I'm also working on the film project, which we've been working on for 25 years. It looks like the film project might be turning into a 12-part television series. But as with everything video and things like that, of course, I'll believe it when I see it. And if it does ever take shape, I probably will be too old to attend the cast party. But anyway, we're continuing to work on it because there's continued to be interest in it, and so I'm doing that. An Accidental Christ, the novel, is in the can, and we're just finishing up last little technical things, and it'll be coming out from Llewellyn in a little later this spring, and looking forward to that too. So we're keeping really busy for as slow as we seem to be moving with our viscosity is thick with cold. Anyway, this is it for the week, and tomorrow will be Saturday morning cartoons, which we'll talk about the trance. Okay, and I'll be sad when we're through with this, because it's been several years since I'd read it myself. And it's Crowley's best stuff. Every page has 3 or 4 perfect memes in it. It's I don't know why people don't quote Crowley more from this. But anyway, here we go. Mastery. The aim of him who would be master is single. Men call it personal ambition. That is, he wants his universe to be as vast and his control of it as perfect as possible. Few fail to understand this aim, but many fail in the formation of their campaign to attain it. Some, for instance, fill their purse with fairy gold, which when they try to use it is found to be dead leaves. Others attempt to rule the universe of another, not seeing that they cannot even take true cognizance thereof. The proper method of extending one's universe, besides the conventional apparatus of material science, is tripartite. Tripartite, excuse me. Here's the 3. Evocation, invocation, and vision. Control is a matter of theoretical and practical acquaintance with magical formulae, but notably also of self-discipline. Damn that self-discipline. Why did he bring that up? To me, who is most sensitive to his horrible self-discipline. Bad, Lon, bad. The ground is to be consolidated and all contradictions resolved in higher harmonies by the various trances. That's what we're talking about in this book here. So much indeed is obvious to superficial consideration. Strange then that so few magicians take the further step of inquiry as to the availability of the instrument. Short-sighted selfishness, good sooth, to take for granted that one's self is sure to find its proper medium to hand for its next adventure. Here the magical memory is of virtue marvelous. Here the magical memory is of virtue marvelous, to correct perspective. For how often in the past has one's life been all but sheer failure from the mere lack of proper means of self-expression? And who among us can be seriously satisfied, today knowing what we do, with even the most perfect human instrument? Now there he goes with parentheticals again to break up my thought. The sentence would read without that, and who among us can be seriously satisfied with even the most imperfect human instrument? It is then no more than simple good sense for the magus to formulate his general political aim in such terms such as these. Now listen to this. To secure the greatest possible freedom of self-expression for the greatest possible number of points of views. Now, somewhere along the line, somebody asked me I'm going to digress, asked me and asked Baba Lon, can a Thelemite be a liberal? Okay. And I, of course, said, yeah, no, not only do we consider ourselves liberals, but actually we consider ourselves radical. And I give the example how it is in my own best selfish, narcissistic interest to live out my existence and attempt to exercise my will when I'm not surrounded by violent war, hunger, starvation, disgruntled, hungry, angry people. It's in my best interest to, as Crowley says here, secure the greatest possible freedom of expression for the greatest possible number of points of view. I'm coming back into the text now. Of which issue the practical aspect may be phrased as possible. Once again, this is Crowley, not Lon. To improve the human race in every conceivable way so as to have available for service the greatest possible variety of the best instruments imaginable. And this is the rational justification of the apparent imbecile and too often sentimental hypocritical aphorism, and here's the thing: love all beings, serve mankind. He calls that the apparently imbecile and too often sentimental, hypocritical aphorism. But he's not making fun of that. Love all beings, serve mankind. That is upon the political plane. For also these two phrases contain one, magical formula, which is the key alike of invocation and of trance, and two, the implicit injunction to make clear the way of the magician through the heavens by right ordering of every star. The word, quote, serve is indeed misleading and objectionable. It implies a false and despicable attitude. The relation between men should be the brotherly aspect which obtains between noble strangers. The idea of service is either true and humiliating or false and arrogant. The most common and fateful pitfall which menaces the man who has begun to extend his universe beyond the world of sense perception is called confusion of the planes. To him who realizes the all one, and that's capital A, capital O, all one, Dr. Bronner, half the labels in our bathroom are say all one. Okay. To him who realizes the all one and knows that to distinguish between any two things is a basic error, it must seem natural and even right to perform what seem perforce acts of love between incongruous ideas. He has the key of languages. Why then should not he, the Englishman, avail himself of it to speak Hebrew? So if you got the key to language, I mean, obviously you've got the key to language because you're speaking a language. Then why should not he, the Englishman, avail himself of it to speak Hebrew without learning it? The same problem offers itself daily in myriad subtle shapes. Command these stones to become bread. This is Satan tempting Jesus in the wilderness. Command these stones to become bread. Throw thyself down from the pinnacle of the temple, as it is written, he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. These last four words, all thy ways, throw light upon the fog of coronzone restriction be unto him in the name of Babylon. For his ways are the ways of nature, who hath appointed between the planes a well-ordered relation. To deform this device is not and cannot be, quote, thy way. The act of love, so seeming, is a false gesture, for such love is not love under will. Be thou well aware, O thou who seekest to attain to mastery, of doing aught miraculous. The surest sign of the master is this, that he is a man of like passions with his fellow. He does indeed transcend them all, and turn them all to perfections, but he does this without suppression, for everything that lives is holy, or distortion, for every form is a true symbol of substance, or confusion, for admixture is hatred as union is love. Initiation means the journey inwards. Nothing is changed or can be changed, but all is true or understood with every step. The Magus of the gods, with his one word that seems to overturn the chariot of mankind in ruin, does not in fact destroy or alter anything. He simply furnishes a new mode of applying existing energy to established forms. The invention of electric machines has in no way interfered with the matter or motion. It has only helped us get rid of certain aspects of the illusion of time and space, and so brought the most intelligent minds to the threshold of the magical and mystical doctrine. They have been forced to imagine the possibility of the perception of the universe as it is, freed of conditions. That is, they have been given a glimpse of the nature of the attainment of mastery. And it is surely but a little step to take for the leaders of natural science, mathematics, and their guiding star, that they should understand the compelling necessity of the great work and apply themselves to its achievement. Here the greatest obstacles are these. Firstly, the misunderstanding of self. And secondly, the resistance of the rational mind against its own conclusions. Men must cast off these two restrictions. They must begin to realize that self is hidden behind and independent of the mental and material instrument in which they apprehend their point of view. And they must seek an instrument other than that which insists, with every single observation, they must seek an instrument other than that which insists on impressing on them what is merely its own most hateful flaw and error, the idea of duality. The Aeon of Horus is here, and its first flower may well be this, that, freed of the obsession of the doom of the ego in death, and of the limitation of the mind by reason, the best men again set out with eager eyes upon the path of the wise, the mountain track of the goat, and then the untrodden ridge that leads to the ice-gleaming pinnacles of mastery. That might be my favorite little chapter yet. Okay, that's it for Friday. Today is Jean Harlow's birthday, and she died very, very, very young. And I tell a story about how my dad interacted with Jean Harlow in 1933. And I wrote a song about it, and I posted it on my my page, my Facebook page, but it's also on YouTube and things like that. The song is simply called Miss Harlow. And when I heard the story, my father was literally on his deathbed, and this was in 1972, and he was dying in Long Beach, and I heard this remarkable story, and I couldn't believe he never told this story to us when we were kids, because it's just so charming. And I was recording at Warner Brothers at the time. We had we're doing some recording at Warner Brothers studio. We were still with Epic Records at the time, but it's a long story. the gist of the story is I was in in a world-class recording studio with world-class engineers. Uh, 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 Steinway, I believe, piano, and about 10 minutes to just fart around. So I wrote this song about my father and Jean Harlow, and I recorded it just my vocal, and I accompanied myself on the piano. And that gave me, I ended up bringing home the wonderful, wonderful recording. I don't know where it is now. I recorded it, of course, years later. But I also had a little radio show with my partner Dave Gunter. Sometimes he listens in here. But we had a little comedy show on one of the big rock and roll stations in Long Beach, KNAC. And I got to play the song Miss Harlow, me singing, got to play it on the show, the recording of it, and the show was transcribed. So I got to sit by my father's bed and listen to the radio. I could listen to the show while I was with my dad. And I said, this is a special song, I really want you to hear it, and everything else. But I think he was pretty much distracted with the mystical moments, prior to transition and everything else. But I really wanted him to hear it, and he sort of nodded that that he liked it. I said, "Hey, you know what it's about, though? It's about," and I have to confess that he wasn't enthusiastically appreciative of it, as I might have hoped. But at least he got to hear the song, and like he was throughout his entire life, he was very proud and appreciative of anything I would do. I could be a mass murderer. He would still have loved and been proud of me. But anyway, I want you to hear that song, Miss Harlow. If you can scroll down on my page here or Google it, Miss Harlow, Lon Milo DuQuette, and take a listen to it. It's got a beautiful violin by Michael Starr. Anyway, until tomorrow, for Saturday morning cartoons, maybe I'll be a little warmer tomorrow. Continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.